be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to GWR Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, March 17th, 2025. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, Marcus Fine, and Warren Misery. How's it going, guys?
Going good, going good.
I mean, I want to say I'm tired, but given what you guys had to do this weekend, I know I don't have much room to say I'm tired. So.
I am tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it was a long weekend, but it was a great weekend.
Great weekend.
Yeah, fantastic weekend.
All right, want to bring on?
Yeah, we're gonna bring our special guest, DAMIEN DEVILLE, and he's gonna talk to us about a big show this Saturday in Sharpsville, Indiana, AACW Return of the Madness. So, how's it going, DAMIEN?
How are you guys doing?
Tired, but we're doing well.
I can relate. I had a long weekend myself. Not quite as long as you guys, but I had a long weekend myself.
Yeah, you was at a kickboxing show, right?
Yeah, over in Peru, Indiana. Old company I used to fight for back in the day. They called me over there I was judging, counting strikes and keeping track of all that for the night. So sat ringside, reminisced, seen a lot of old friends. It was a good time.
You gonna get back in the kickboxing ring?
It's a whole nother show. Tony. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't talked about and brought up. I'm not going to say that isn't related to my big announcement that I did say that I will be making, this Saturday at Return of the Madness.
Okay.
Lots going on, but
Cool.
I did promise a big announcement. So not going to say that has anything to do with it, but maybe there's a little bit of a teaser for you guys.
Okay. Well, let's get into Return of the Madness. I know it's this Saturday. What time does doors open? What time does the show start? And how much are tickets?
Doors are going to open at 6:00. Probably do a little pre-show kickoff around 6:30 maybe. But show will always start at 7:05. We're doing something different with the tickets this show. Front row is going to be $15. Floors $12, and bleachers are going to be $10. Of course, any kids 5 and under always get in free. Yeah, I took a couple months off, but we're pretty excited to get back.
Oh, I bet.
All is well.
You all right there, Marcus?
Everything good?
We dropped her cup on me. I got wet. All is well.
Oh,
See, she's been testing me all day because of the Johnny Knoxville figure. But anyhow, that's another story.
Gotta love it live, right?
yeah, that's for sure.
Guess I didn't want that drink.
That's usually my dog Pablo usually hitting the camera or making noises, but Kelly
Yeah,
and
it was our turn. That's the best I had.
Over here, but he seems to be all right now.
can you tell us maybe a couple of matchups that you know what's going to be happening?
Yeah, we always like to make some historic moments. So fresh off our new ladies division, we're gonna have our first ever women's tag team match. Paige Jones and Layla Feist are gonna team up against my nieces, Daughters of Destruction, Jensen and Ajax. So that's gonna be interesting.
Cool. Matter of fact, I seen Layla Feist this past weekend.
Yeah, I think she had an injury a while back. Or somebody, I heard that. I thought, but
Yeah,
yeah,
she
glad
broke her
she's
collarbone
back.
or something.
She's
Big
she's
fan of
very
her.
she's very good. She's
Yeah, big
fairly
fan
new
of
to the sport, maybe a year, maybe a little over, but she's very good. Dude. We seen her. Was it Friday or Saturday, Marcus? Some days are running together.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hold
Friday
on.
night.
Yeah.
Why is Reggie a misery fan? Is it,
Greatness recognizes greatness.
okay, I guess the bigger question is why is Misery a Reggie Edwards fan?
Yeah, that's even worse. We're gonna have to talk, Warren. You can't be part of GWR if you like Reggie, because none of us like Reggie. We may tolerate Reggie, but I don't know about liking Reggie.
Hey, it's yin and yang. It's like the force. We got to have good and bad here. So
Well, I will say on this tag team ladies match, I don't think I've ever seen one on the indies. I've seen one where there was the opportunity and the promoter really dropped the ball on it and didn't
Really?
put them in a match like he should have.
Well, there
But,
you go.
yeah.
Like I said, AACW, they like to make history. They've had a lot of historic nights, historic moments, a lot of first times. So there they go again.
Awesome. How about a couple more matches, maybe?
Well, I if I do recall, with the EEC title last show, with Kong and Nerd, they constructed some sort of deal that they're going to have a tag team match. And it's going to be Congo and Juice Horta against Tate Manson and, of course, Nerd, who is the reigning EEC champion.
Yes.
And I guess if someone scores a pinfall, that's automatic shot earned for the EEC title. But what happens if Nerd makes the pinfall and wins the match? Does he not?
Well, we all know that Nerd's going to win.
Well, then what happens, Kelly? Does he not have to defend it against anybody?
Well, not for a while.
No,
I think she's Nerd's manager secretly. I think she's Nerd's manager.
So
Or
if
agent.
Nerd's partner actually makes a pin, then he gets the
And
title.
and then what if his boy Tate makes the pin?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of in a sticky situation there, if you ask me.
I don't think whoever he goes against is going to win. So
Kelly, we're talking Congo Kong here.
well, he beat him once.
Oh man. Oh man.
Nerd's my boy.
I know it is. I know I've talked to Bob Steele, and apparently he plans on teaching Cody Lee some sort of lesson Saturday night. I don't know. He wouldn't get into detail, but they've been having their family troubles, so pretty interested to see old Bob what Bob got up his sleeve there.
Yeah, I got to see Bob quite a few times there. I don't know what, Chris, 2008, 2009, around that time? Yeah, I got to see him quite a few times back in the EWF days.
Yeah, EWF original right there.
Yeah. Also got a big tag team championship match, I believe, called X against Cold Hard Cash.
Yeah, that's
Cold X is going to win.
Kelly.
oh
Kelly. Man, she took the turn hard.
She did.
Next
My boys.
Kelly,
next
your
year
heel
we
turns up there with Cena at this point.
Yeah. She'll be recruiting Doolittle before long to call X.
Oh, man.
Oh boy, can you imagine? Oh man, just
Tony.
think of that.
Don't give her any ideas.
I'm just trying to picture that. That'd be funny.
But yeah, I
would be fun.
think that's going to be a good tag team match, though. Tag team titles on the line,
Yeah, that should be good.
I'm rooting for Cold Hard Cash. Anybody goes up against Cold X, I'm put a little extra.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Great minds. See, Kelly, that's how it's supposed to be right there.
No. I got to stay with my guys.
We got to
Marcus,
get you back to the good side.
You gotta get Marcus. You gotta get Kelly off the Kool-Aid.
You see what she just did with this pop? I'm not about to. And it's one of those damn cups like this. I'm afraid she's going.
Oh, so it's still cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
oh, it's on my notes.
Brandon Day making his AACW debut. That's big. That's big.
Big.
Speaking of big, Brody Botkins, so he brings it. So that's gonna be something right there.
Yeah, that's a main event match anywhere in Indiana.
For
them
sure.
too. Yeah, I
For
agree with that
sure.
100%.
For sure. I was just informed a few hours ago. This will be fresh off the press.
Oh,
U.S. title match. Reigning champ, legendary Brobo Brazil Jr. is going to take on one of Kelly's Cold X guys, Jake Elliott.
Ooh. All right.
That might be the last time we see Elliott.
Lovely bubble.
And apparently they're they're always up to no good. So
That's true.
we'll hope Bobo can. Bobo. He them numbers ain't nothing to Bobo. So
Don't come much. Don't come much tougher than Bobo.
no. I see that.
Yeah, the pleasantries from Coltex,
Thirds. But yeah, man. Sean Phoenix is making his return. I liked his debut.
I did too.
I hear he's gonna be in action. I don't know who he's got.
What about Johnny?
Johnny Crisis will be there. Cruiser will be there. Justin Terrell will be there. All your AACWs, superstars are going to be there. Of course, my big announcement. I'm sure there's going to be more matches announced before Saturday, even. So
That's awesome. Well, hey, fans out there anywhere close to Sharpsville, Kokomo, that area, check out a great show. It's going to be, like I believe he said, front row tickets 15, on the floor 12, bleachers 10. Doors
sir.
open at 6, and the show starts at 7:05 this Saturday. I believe that is March 22nd.
Yes.
Got your
yes,
date.
sir.
I barely know what today is.
Will I be seeing all you guys there Saturday at the show? Warren, you coming out?
I won't be able to make it. I'm sorry. As much as I want to, it's a hefty drive for me. I do apologize, but
I feel you.
I'll be there.
I know Marcus and Kelly will for sure. I'm not sure about me and Chris yet.
We should know something here. We should know for sure in a couple of days.
Yep.
yeah, I know for a fact everyone out there watching. I went to the last show. It's worth every dime. Great action. Definitely, if you're in that area, show up, show out with these guys.
Yeah, let's fill up the gym there and have a great crowd for the first show back of 2025.
I almost forgot. We felt like apparently we're taking over the company. AACW is running concessions now.
Okay.
So prices for the concessions themselves are going to change a little bit, and I think I've heard that's going to be for the better.
That's nice of you to give SWS something to do during the show. He can go ahead and sell hot dogs to everyone.
Hey now, Warren.
Spoiled it. You
Yeah.
spoiled it. You spoiled
Yeah,
it.
Chloe the hot dog boy.
man.
I can see Tater.
Yeah.
I can see Tater selling
Maybe
hot
that's a plus. Maybe they won't show up now. Maybe he won't show up knowing he's working.
Oh,
Go ahead and put those drink carriers around him and have them carry the drinks around to everyone. And sell them.
Up and down the bleachers all night.
That's not a bad idea, because I'll tell you, I was at a show.
About that. He owes me a favor. Maybe I can get the board to.
I was at a show where the stipulation was if a wrestler lost the match, the next show he had to work concessions. And I tell you what, the fans lined up the concessions at General Mission to come buy the
We're
stuff.
writing that one down, Tony.
Yep. I'll tell you what, man, they sold a bunch of stuff, man.
Put it this way: they had to extend the intermission because the concession line was still so long
because he
was in there. People was able to go up there, and he had to serve them food.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
It was.
Okay, well, you want a history lesson? That's how I put it.
Absolutely.
Jason Maples, back in the 2001s, we hadn't been at the EWF very long. Jason Maples, sometime prior that we weren't there, lost something, and he had to walk up and down those ramps at the theater selling cotton candy and stuff. And his concession number money was, people eat that shit up.
Oh yeah.
You want to get rid of hot dog buds, and you put a stipulation to have a wrestler sell. I guarantee you'll sell.
I'll even tell you the heel because he works everywhere. Jeremy Hadley was the heel. Jeremy Hadley was the heel.
The concession stand. You imagine?
And people. Yeah, it was supposed to be 10 or 15 minutes, ended up being 30 minutes working the concession stand, and nobody cared because they just loved over there. He's yelling and screaming, the fans are yelling and screaming, they're getting the popcorn, the hot dogs, and they sold more probably than they ever sold. So it was pretty awesome.
Cousin Cooter knew exactly what we was talking about.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's something you could definitely look at.
Heck yeah. I think the board would like that idea.
Yeah, Tanner Kelly selling hot dogs. I think that'd be perfect.
Who would be the best heel? Would it be Doolittle? Would it be Called X? That'd be interesting.
I mean, me personally, I want to see SWS having to walk up and down them all night long.
Well, maybe you could do a special tag match, and it could be SWS and Doolittle.
I would be concerned. Make sure you got the hairnet for the beard because
yeah.
You got food safety.
Yeah, cover that face completely as much as you can. He can keep his eyes so he can see what he's doing, but everything else covered. I agree with that.
Okay, I still love my guys.
You might not after Saturday.
Kelly, I love you.
I'm telling you, Kelly, Called X's days are coming. They're coming.
Kelly, I love you. Kelly, I love you, but you need to lay off them Long Island iced teas.
We never got any.
I could really use one today.
We could get
just broke out Marcus earlier.
Marcus tried to get some Long Island iced teas, but he couldn't get that one guy to go get.
Wes wouldn't go get them. It's like run down to Hooters. It's right over there. Go get them.
He tried. Well, Damien, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on.
And hopefully you guys have a big crowd and have a good. Well, I know you're going to have a good show. So hopefully you have a great show and hopefully a big crowd.
Thank you, and hopefully you guys can make it. But
hopefully,
absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on, guys. Always a blast coming on with you guys. So always have fun.
Excellent.
All right. Well, let's get you back on here again sometime soon. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
It's kickboxing debut. Debut.
Return.
Yeah. Maybe we could come out and cover that.
Hey, I'm sure they'd love to have you guys, man. I'm sure I could probably give you guys some contact info on who to talk to about that. But
if we could get the dates lined up, we're having a hard time. We're getting booked all over the place.
Reach out and try to cover like some MMA and boxing and kickboxing and stuff like that. I think it'd be good for your fan base.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
Heck yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
All right, fellas.
All right. See you later, man.
Have a good night.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
Didn't
mean to cut you off.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get started.
I didn't know you guys needed Long Island iced teas. We went down Sunday to Hooters and we ate lunch. I could have brought y'all back some drinks. I didn't know that.
I wish I'd known that.
The way Marcus was, I don't know that he needed any Long Island iced teas. We got kind of loopy by the end of the show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Especially, what was it? Saturday night. Oh,
I think it was Saturday night, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Well, we had one big fan. He could hear our commentary. Of course, who that fan was, I don't know if that means the show was good or if it was X-rated. Well, we're going to get started with the Marcus Fine Wrestling Report, which is going to be pretty much mostly Comic-Con we're going to talk about, but Marcus does have some other stuff. So, Marcus?
Yeah, it's that time of year. The time changed, so the clock may be going off at the top of the hour, so we're to that time of year again. Okay, we'll do birthdays and get-wells. Let's we got 2 get wells. Again, any get well I give, I'm not going into detail. It's just a get well, because if they want their business out there, they will put their business out there. So, one is Bobo Brazil Jr. We need an update on him, but yeah. So keep your prayers out for Bobo Brazil Jr. He couldn't make Comic-Con. Something came up. So,
yep.
And then you'll see in the video whenever Chris airs the video, Troy Valentine got hurt over the weekend. He got concussed, and I did talk to him a little bit yesterday. He is doing well. Just a very bad headache. And when you finally see what happened to him, see, there it goes. Once you see what happens to him, you'll see why there's a headache there. And so he's doing good now. So everything's well, but he did have a pretty rough Saturday night. So
as Amazing Grace plays in the background.
Yep. That time of year.
Hey, we're sending out prayers. That's perfect. That's perfect timing.
Oh, that's okay. Hell. Okay, we got some birthdays here. Well,
you joke, Troy, but man, get better, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, now hit the birthday music.
Hey, I'll have to get one of them splitter things like Chris has got. Make sure my buttons are lined up right, so they yell at motherfuckers all the time. But there was a few times over the weekend I felt like reaching over and smacking that button when we seen some stuff. But anyhow, okay, birthdays.
There's a few times I'd like to hit that button and then strangle somebody. But...
Oh
yeah, we know. Oh yeah, we know.
It was more than a few times.
The only sad thing is I was between you. But anyhow, Wednesday, Wrestling Theology Fellowship's promoter, Rich Abbott's birthday is on Wednesday. And then the 23rd, what day is that? That's Sunday. Matthew Grant, Cousin Cooter, Ox Harley. Ox Harley is a former Hoosier Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion and now runs a promotion down in Tennessee. And Tony, if we ever get time to go down there, he sells his own homemade barbecue in the concession stand. So keep that in mind sometime. And I did miss a couple from the 22nd. Actually, I missed one. Dylan Craig. His birthday's on the 22nd. He is the ring announcer. He does ring announcing for JICW and TCW down in Jeffersonville. So happy birthday to all of them. And if we missed your birthday, happy birthday. And yep. All right, Tony. That's what I had.
Guys. Well, we're going to start with our wrestling report. We was at Comic-Con.
I was talking to myself, not you.
Chris, we're live, right? Okay.
Like, we were at Comic-Con?
Yeah, you blamed me earlier. Chris, how many times have you been through this? That was the lecture you gave me a little bit ago.
I don't. Yeah.
He was silly. Okay, we was at Comic-Con all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I got a few things, and then I'll let these guys talk. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to Joey Owens and his team and all the wrestlers, everything. This is the 3rd year at Comic-Con. I thought it's the best year they've had. Not that the first 2 wasn't great; they were fantastic, but I thought this was the best one. They killed it, man, and the rookies and the younger wrestlers just were outstanding. I mean, just off the charts, stepping up and just doing a great job. Some of the standouts for me, not in any order. Cameron Cross, the Water Boy, had a fantastic match, and I think really came into his own. Looking for some big things from him to come. Mike Noble just continues to get better and better. Had some fantastic work. Zach Nova, outstanding. Juan Sanchez was also outstanding. Had a great match on the last day of Comic-Con. Was really impressed with him. JJ Lawson, a guy that I haven't seen a lot of, and he's only been in the business less than a year. I thought he had an outstanding day. Troy Valentine also stepped up and had a couple big matches. One he hurt after he got hurt. He wrestled hurt, and we didn't know that. I don't think anybody knew he had, he wrestled again. Of course, Dex Royal, Rachel Armstrong, Zay Gates, the highlight reel. They're next level, man. They're just fantastic. And a special shout out to War Ready Malenko. I think this is going to be his year, guys. I tell you what, he was phenomenal this weekend in the matches that we've seen him. He's almost next level with that intensity. Of course, he's one of my favorites, of course. And I was going to go ahead and give some of my favorite matches real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. My favorite match of the whole Comic-Con was the 6-man scramble match. It's going to be up for one of my matches of the year. Of course, we still got a long way to go on that, but it featured Malenko, Rachel Armstrong, Jordan James, Zay Gates, Damien, and Damon Real. It was just outstanding. Malenko won the match, went crazy in the last couple minutes, hitting Malenko drivers on everybody. It was next level. Also, Malenko and Zay Gates. No, it was Malenko and Dex Royal versus. No, I'm wrong. Malenko versus Zay Gates. Also, Dex Royal versus the Waterboy. Dex versus Mike Noble. Malenko versus Andre Stray. Zach Nova versus Dex Royal. Juan Sanchez and Logan Myers. Dex Royal and Rachel versus the Highlight Reel versus Zay Gates and Troy Valentine. Them were some of my favorite matches. Out because like Marcus said earlier, 70 matches that we've seen over the weekend. Them was just a few of my favorites, and there were more. Just an outstanding job at WCWO, Joey Owens and all his referees, all the people that run sound, security, all the wrestlers, everybody. I can't name them all because I'm gonna miss names, and I don't want nobody get mad at me. But just everybody, the whole family there, just do a fantastic job and deserve a lot of praise. And I know the Comic-Con fans loved it, and I'm sure they'll be back again. So hopefully we'll be back there for the 4th one. Marcus, what do you think?
Oh, you want mine? I got quite a list.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll do my shout out to the Water Boy. He brought. First of all, they all brought it. Nobody held back this weekend. Everybody gave 110%. And the Water Boy, he's come a long way in such a short time because the match with him and Dex was off the charts. I did not know Water Boy had that in him to go toe-to-toe with Dex Royal like he did. But, yeah, very impressive showing there. Again, J.J. Lawson, we have seen him at the Dub in recent times. Had not seen him for a little bit. And then to find out, because during the Q&A, it came out that he's only got 11 months. I had no idea that kid only had 11 months. But he wrestled 6 matches, 6 different shows. And he brought it too. Juan Sanchez taking on Logan Myers for the title. I told him, if Juan Sanchez wins that title, I will walk into Lafayette with him. And that's an insider. But those who need to know what I'm saying. So, and again, everybody else, I'm not leaving anybody out. The 6-way scramble was my match of the weekend too. I've seen tons of scrambles, and normally it's not the talent they had in that scramble match was just like, you got to be kidding me. We couldn't pick who we picked. Waterboy ended up winning another scramble later in the weekend against a pretty top talent too. So I had to, everybody gave it their all. Nobody held anything back. Another show of yelling commentary. It got so damn loud in there, we were screaming at each other just trying to hear. People come up they're like, what? It's like, I can't hear you. It's like, and we had headphones on. We also seen another history-making thing because I had never seen a triple threat mixed tag team.
Yep.
3 men-women matches, men and a woman tag team, 3 of them. Never seen it. We tried to make it a 4th one, but Chris would not go out and get the Rhea Ripley lookalike to be his tag team partner, so it just had to stay as a triple threat, not a fatal 4-way. But he had the option; he just didn't do it.
I'm always the one that has to get in the ring and get beat up. It's somebody else's turn this time.
We tried to get your dad to do the arm wrestling. He wouldn't do it either.
You got the past history. You're the one dumb enough to do it. You prove that. I ain't doing it.
And Marcus,
Again, like
can I answer this question real quick?
yeah, go whatever you need to do.
Bethany, we will be putting all the Comic-Con shows up on our YouTube and Facebook pages. It'll probably be later this week or beginning of next week because, like Marcus said, what is it? 13 shows?
12 shows.
12 shows, like 70 matches. So, but yes, they will be up here soon.
Okay. I'm going to get these in order. I also had the privilege to book a few matches for the Saturday show, or was it the Friday show? Either the Friday or the Saturday show. Joey Owens handed me a piece of paper and said, give me 5 matches you want to see. I believe 3 of those 5 did take place later in the day. One of them did not. There's controversy as to why that did not. We won't get into that, but one of them did not. One of them got scrapped.
Yep.
Our good old buddy Warren Misery decided he wanted to go sign autographs across the hallway at PopCon or Comic-Con, but somehow, evidently on his lunch break, he decided to come over. He did commentate one of the matches with us.
Yep.
You know, when Tony looks at you and says, you get a chance to call a WCWO show at Indiana Comic-Con, you sort of got to take that opportunity, and I can check that off my list now. I did commentary it. Now my next step, hopefully next year, I can actually be ringside representing someone in WCWO at Indiana Comic-Con, but that's another time, another place.
Hey, don't say never, because as Tony brought up several times, Mike Noble debuted at Comic-Con last year. This year is the Gunslinger Champion main event. It can happen. So
if John Downs can get ringside at Comic-Con.
Well, and if John Downs can go running out the damn front of the arena and out the front of Capitol Avenue like a fool, that anybody
his head was on fire. I didn't know what that was.
So we didn't know that he not only didn't stop out there in the main hallway, he went all the way to the street screaming that we still don't know what happened to him, but a lot of fan favorites, but of course Pogo and Andre Stray. Andre Stray debuted at Comic-Con, that gimmick, and the fans ate that up. Everybody loves Pogo because he kind of fits in with the Comic-Con
crowd.
Yeah, the way Comic-Con is, because he just looks like one of them. Nothing against Pogo, but if he walked out there in the hallway, they wouldn't think anything different about that. But Andre Stray debuting, coming out and dancing and doing the whoop. I mean, if you look across the crowd, everybody's whooping like everybody's eating at Royal Rumble. He said he didn't stop, so evidently he may be over in Ohio by now. I don't know what way, if he went out past Hooters, what direction is that? I don't know.
Hooters is like right, it's straight out the door there.
Is it east or
right towards game? It goes towards Gamebridge. Is that right?
I know, but I'm trying to figure it, because if he kept going, did he go towards Ohio? Did he go towards Illinois? It's like, is he still running?
If he went out that door on Capitol, if he went straight, it'd take you right to Hooters, right?
Yeah, where they're building a new hotel and everything.
Yeah.
So further
That's
down.
probably where he's running. Probably he went to get the Long Island iced teas. I don't know. And then they got to end the show with the Basher tribute. Played the Basher entrance music. Everybody got in the ring that was there for Sunday, and that's how we ended Comic-Con. Kelly and I would like to thank, of course, Chris and Tony for helping us with getting us lunches and getting me in and out of the commentary table, and because they had to move the table because it was in that hole. Then I'd get in there and then they'd bring the table back to me. But then Joey and his crew, the respect and what everybody did to help us do what we needed to do. And it was an awesome experience, and can't wait till PopCon. PopCon's next.
Now, my biggest question to you guys, since I am a Comic-Con veteran, what was your favorite cosplay that you saw? Who dressed up the best? Kelly was out front. She saw them all.
Yeah, well, she's going to do her report here in a minute.
I seen another Ghostbuster. It was pretty elaborate. Had the proton pack and everything. I would say that was probably my favorite. I didn't see a lot. I seen a lot more last year because I walked around a lot more last year.
Yeah,
I didn't walk around much this year. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Chris, I know you've seen some naked women and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what my favorite costume was, though. I would probably say
costumes, anyhow.
I'd probably say I saw a good the Walter guy off of Breaking Bad.
Walter White,
main character of Breaking Bad. There was a guy. It looked just like him. That's probably the best one I'd seen.
I want to change mine to the Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley was good.
Oh yeah, I'm on Rhea Ripley. I did see it. What is those ones with the TV on their head?
Yeah, there's off of some.
Seen a lot of TVs on their head.
It's like, I don't know if it's a game
Chris,
or
we got We got one in there from Oliver. He said the Five Nights at Freddy guy was his.
That's the one I'm thinking. There's one Sunday. Yeah, it was all burnt up and green. It was really cool. We saw him when we were leaving. But when we came in, like, so we came down the escalators. We were all the way down at the far end. So we came in through the cheerleading competition that was going on. So we're walking through, and there's just all these cheerleaders everywhere, all these little kids everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is so many people cosplaying as cheerleaders? and then there was just a random guy in a Michael Myers outfit just standing.
Well, that's funny because me and Chris are sitting
Take out some
there.
cheerleaders.
Me and Chris were sitting at that one door. This is before we even went to match one of day one. And I'm looking out in the hallway like, what the hell is wrong with that person? And then the next one by, I'm like, what? Oh, Comic-Con. I forgot where I was at. And it's like, what in the hell is wrong with that person? And Chris knows who I'm talking. And we probably say that even if we see that person out at Comic-Con, like, what the hell's wrong with you? But you know, fantastic weekend. Again, thank you to Joey and crew, guys. Thanks for where we're at today. And can't wait till do PopCon now.
Okay, does Kelly got some thoughts?
You ready?
Yep.
Let me set this up. Kelly, out of the 70 matches that took place, Kelly's seen 1.5 matches. That's it. Kelly set out selling merch table. She got to hear everything. So it's a whole different perspective.
Hi, guys. Yeah, it was totally different for me. Sitting outside, selling the merchandise, being able to hear the crowd going wild and hearing what was going on in the ring. And in my mind, I could picture what they were doing since I've been around with wrestling for a while. So it was really cool to be able to do that. And then to sit out there and just people watching everybody coming and going. My favorite costume was probably the main character in Pirates of the Caribbean. The only
Jack
one,
Sparrow?
huh?
Jack Sparrow?
The dressed
Is
up.
that right? Jack Sparrow?
I don't know what
Yeah,
his
Jack Sparrow, yeah.
but it's the only one that we've seen, and he was, I mean, ideal to what he looked like, talked like him. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So, but it was really awesome to be able to just put everything in my mind what was going on. The crowds were awesome. Most shows there were lots of people standing outside in the hallway trying to watch the wrestling because it was packed house. They couldn't get in, but it was just great.
Jordan? Where'd Tony go?
I don't know where he went.
He
Warren,
put cosplay on.
I got one more thing, and I made this statement through the thing.
Okay.
If everybody watches, and me and Warren's talked about this before, but everybody watches wrestling on TV and they think they're an expert. Until you are sitting in an arena and feed off that crowd, and then people cheering and screaming, and when the entrance music's hit, you don't get that feeling unless you are in the venue at the time. So, like Warren said, everybody complains about this and that, but they're doing it from their keyboard. Get in the arena and experience it from that way and see what your attitude's like. Because I don't think there was an entrance music or when they, especially when I made that statement with Max Sterling, the crowd went nuts when that Smokey and the Bandit theme hit. And it's like, unless you experience that in the venue, you ain't going to get, you might see it on TV and say, oh, that's cool. But once you see it in person, it's a whole different experience. So get out there and support these people.
Yeah, and to double it up to be at an independent wrestling event where you're so close and so right there, that feeling is just, it's really cool. You know, the guys are right there, the ladies are right there. It's all it's unmatched. I mean, it's cool. It's cool to be at the Rumble and to do Cody's Woe and do all the other stuff. But when you're at an independent show and you get that the vibe and the feels is completely different. But yeah, it's all about being in person to see this stuff.
And it's also about $250 cheaper.
It's about what?
Than going to the Rumble. It's about $250 cheaper.
Yeah,
to go to
it's
the
interesting.
And you never know. Now we've come up with these stipulations where you may be getting your popcorn and hot dogs from a wrestler. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see Roman Reigns selling hot dogs.
Hey, there's a lot of great talent on the Indiana scene, and some of this talent soon is going to be other places. It's going to be on TV. So.
And just to point this one out, and this I never knew this, and I was going to talk to you guys offline, but since you brought this up, I did not know Brian Pillman Jr. was WCWO champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had no idea. And now here he is in NXT, Lexus King.
Have you ever watched The Dark Side of the Ring about Brian Pillman?
MJF is from WCWO.
If you look on there, there's a section of that Jonathan Wolf, Brian Pillman match on The Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. That's why people need to go out to see this stuff. Because we could, all those Comic-Con people could have seen this past weekend. Just to throw names, I'm not saying, but Juan Sanchez or Mike Noble. In a year, 2 years, they may show up on an AEW show, and these people go, "Oh my God, I saw him at Comic-Con." So it's like,
and we got Andre Stray in the house.
Yeah. Andre Stray is another good example of a guy that you could end up seeing, and just like,
and like Cooter said, the cheerleaders dancing to the Timmy Jackson dance off. So,
yeah. Chris, did you give your thoughts yet?
No. Well, first of all, before I give my thoughts, I want to start out by thanking Joey Owens and all the WCW, everybody involved with WCWO. This was our third year getting to go down there and have an opportunity to be down there and experience it. It's been awesome. So big thank you to them guys, because we've got a lot of opportunities to do stuff because of Joey. So I want to make sure we give them guys a big thank you. And then it was just a great weekend. And not trying to put anybody down, but you're not going to see the kind of wrestling we saw this weekend anywhere else in the state of Indiana. What they done this weekend, and they do every year at Comic-Con, to me is just amazing to put on that many shows and matches. And it's not just a repeat show every hour. It's a different show, different matches every hour. It's everything's different. It's not just, hey, we're going to do this and we're just going to repeat it 13 times. No, it's all different. I agree. I thought Waterboy took a big step this weekend. That match with Dex, he really stepped up. And then if you noticed, I was talking to Dad last night on the way home about this. After that match, the rest of the weekend, he looked like a totally different guy in there than what he did before that match. So I think he gained a lot of confidence in himself during that match. Malenko's getting right up there with about anybody in the state. I just love watching Malenko, his intensity, just everything about it. And then I thought Juan Sanchez stepped up real big in that, like you guys said, in that Logan Myers match. But everybody this weekend was great. I mean, wasn't no bad matches. There were just a few guys that stuck out in my head. Yep. My match of the weekend, I mean, you had that scramble match was awesome too, but I really loved the Dex and Malenko match. Yep. I think that was on Friday.
Yeah.
But that match really stuck out in my head all weekend, even after all the other ones. But,
I agree.
But no, I had a great time, like always. It's a long weekend, but I love going. I'm looking forward to PopCon here in a couple months.
Yep, most definitely. We had a couple other topics, guys, but we're gonna not do them this week. We'll push them back, and we're gonna with the time we're gonna go ahead and go to our special guest.
Yeah, we've kept him waiting a few minutes.
Yeah, we have kept him waiting. Sorry about that.
But all right, we'll bring in FENIX. How's it going?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get started right away. We're going to start normal routine. I'm tired, guys. Marcus first, Warren second, me third, and Chris fourth.
Okay, before that, Andre, we talked about you earlier. You just came in too late. But anyhow, okay, first standard question is, when did you become interested in professional wrestling, and how did you decide that's what you wanted to do?
Well, kind of a long story, but I'm going to kind of tell the short and sweet version here. A lot of us, when we were growing up, like most kids, we grew up watching wrestling, and we loved it. And I went through a few traumatic experiences as a child, and wrestling was one of the very few things that would actually like keep my mind off of the drama and all that stuff. And I looked at the TV one day, and I just pointed my finger at the screen, and I was like, I'm going to do that. I started going to the local wrestling shows back in, I want to say between 2001 to 2003. I don't even remember the name of the promotion. I think it was called like ICW or something like that. I watched guys like Quicksilver. I got to witness like CM Punk when he was on the Indies. Poison Apollo Star, back when he had hair, you know. But yeah, I joined the military in 2014, but the dream had always been there. I got out of the military in 2021, and literally 2 weeks after I got out of the military, I walked right into the dub. I met with JKO, and I signed a contract on the spot. You know, I was 28 years old at the time, and you know, 28 years old is kind of a late start to get involved in wrestling, you know. But it's yeah, you know, I'm living the dream. So
Gonna hit Kelly's question there, Chris.
Is it on there already?
Yeah, oh, yeah, she knows.
I sure know she got it in there already. He's got to go back up to it.
Yeah.
Kelly wants to know who your favorite super fan is, Marcus or Kelly?
whichever one pays me first.
Well, it would have to be me because I carry the money.
We had that discussion over the
Well, that
weekend.
pretty much answers it.
We had that discussion over the weekend.
Phoenix, Marcus want to know if you take IOUs.
For you, I'll take one.
Oh.
Okay, Warren.
All right. You said, you know, a while back, you're watching, you're pointing the TV. That's your thing. Who were some of the guys when you first started watching that you idolized in a way that you were like, I really like this guy. This is something that I see and makes me really want to get into it.
As far as the TV part goes, I grew up and I was infatuated with like Sting and like Shawn Michaels and pretty much all of the guys from the Attitude Era. On the independent scene, I idolized guys like Quicksilver, Wildcat Chris Harris before he even like went to TNA. Little names like that. You know, there's some names that were big on television, and then there were some guys that were on the indies that I looked up to as well. So,
Okay, mine's a kind of two questions in one. I want to know your favorite opponent and your toughest opponent.
you know, honestly, I got one answer for both of those questions, and
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Jackson Morgan on that one. Jackson Morgan, he taught me a lot. We went through hell and back together for the past year, which, you know, for those of you that are watching that have been keeping up with like the things going on at the Dub, you know, we went through a pretty hellish thing for about a year, and you know, I've got the scars on my body to prove it, and I got to go Jackson Morgan on that one. So,
Okay. Chris?
When you first got in the business, what was the hardest thing for you to learn?
the hardest thing to learn was to just put my fears aside on like certain things, on like certain ways that we train, and like learning how to do certain things. setting that fear aside, because essentially, when you get into training, you're teaching your body to do things that it wasn't meant to do. And I think I can speak for a lot of guys on that, where when you start training in this business, you got to teach your body entirely new things. Like when you fall down, it's human nature to catch yourself. You do it in a wrestling ring, you're going to get hurt pretty bad. So you got to change the way that you carry yourself, and you got to change your reactions. So.
All right. Well, we have another question from Kelly real quick before we go to Marcus.
What you did to us last week.
Let's know if you're DX or NWO.
I'm a DX guy through and through. I love DX. They got into a lot of trouble, a lot of controversy, and I'm all about that life. So
We got a lot of thieves on this
Okay,
panel.
and then Kelly also had another question. She wouldn't know when you're giving Oliver back.
That's for me to know and her to figure out. Yeah, I'm not going into that. I'm gonna let Tim stew in it a little bit.
I plead the fifth.
Pleading the fifth on that one. Psychological warfare, gentlemen. That's all it is.
And then we have another question from Bethany Dawn. Do you have your own signature move?
Yeah, I actually have two. One of them is the Impaler DDT, and the other one I actually just debuted a few weeks ago, which is the Triangle Hole. So.
Okay, Warren, if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Marcus,
I think it's Marcus's turn.
Is it Marcus's turn? Okay.
Yes.
I lost my place. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine because I'm laughing. Okay, well, you've wrestled some big shows this year. As we just got off Comic-Con, you got done to Thunderstorm, but between those two was the Midnight Show where you went through gusset plates. That's not the first time you ever bled, because I think it was between you and Jackson Morgan. Did you not have a hell of a show where you were really bleeding profusely then too? Evidently, you're not. Tell us what it's like to go through what's not normally a standard match.
So the first time you do something like that, you get the nervous jitters, and like rightfully so. I mean, everybody has a right to be nervous, if they're doing that for the first time. My first time doing anything hardcore related was a barefoot thumbtack match with Pogo of all people.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah. This is just me speaking from personal experience, but I think that one of the things that saves you in those types of matches is the adrenaline. I can say that when I took the fall on the gusset plates, I felt him go in, but honestly, guys, I didn't feel any pain at all when that happened. I honestly didn't even feel it until the next morning after I had already been stitched up. So the adrenaline goes a long way in those types of matches. You still feel pain, and you still feel certain things. Like if I'm in a match and someone hits me with a chair, it's not going to hurt as bad. But if I'm just like sitting here in my house or whatever, and someone hits me with a chair, I'm probably going to get pissed off because it's going to hurt really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, from personal experience, it's the adrenaline that saves you. So.
Can we see the scars? Leslie, put on there to show us the scars.
Yeah. This one right here, I think they said it was like 9 stitches. This one right here was about 6 stitches. Kind of looks like Freddy Krueger got a hold of me. But this one right here was the one that they couldn't get to stop bleeding. But when I was in the ER, the one that we got to stop bleeding the quickest was actually the one that looked the worst. So, yeah, I still feel it a little bit. Especially in the ring. It's if I hit something with my elbows or something, I still feel a little bit of a sensation there, but it's just gotta be careful with them. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, Warren.
Let me get to this one before Kelly takes it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a magic front row center seat ticket to any event in wrestling history. What event, what single match would you like to be front and center to see?
Oh man, you got to put me on the spot with that one. Let's see. If we're talking about matches that made history, I'm gonna have to go with Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3. And again, this is all personal opinion, but I think that match is one of the more historic scenes in wrestling history, and I would have loved to have been there front and center because nowadays, smaller guy slams a big guy, it's not a big deal. But back then it was, it didn't happen very often. So to see it at WrestleMania 3 live like that, I think it would have been pretty amazing.
And it breaks my heart that that's all gone now. It's just a parking lot where they put extra cars.
Oh yeah.
It kills me. It kills me whenever we go to the Detroit area, we go by Pine Island, it just kills me.
Stop. Yep.
Okay, my question is, when I say these names, I want to know what you think of. The first name I'm going to say is Joey Owens.
Dad.
All right, Jackson Morgan.
Brother.
Jordan James.
Veteran.
And my last one is T.S. Wiley. And keep it clean.
Riley sucks.
Is douchebag clean?
That's clean.
That's clean compared to what you guys said, but that's clearer than what we called it this weekend. So,
I got to go with Goofy on that one. He's
okay.
He's very off the wall person. So.
That's true.
Todd's a very bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah. What's the one thing you love most about the wrestling business, and what's the thing you dislike or hate the most about the wrestling business?
The thing that I love the most about it is just, when you're growing up, and a kid tells their parents, I want to be a wrestler. That's kind of like the equivalent, of a kid saying, well, I want to be an astronaut, or, I want to be a pirate or whatever. The parents, they probably don't believe it, but, they just go along with it. But with me, I said I was going to do it, and I'm doing it. For me, it's just the reaction from the crowd, no matter what it is, and just the enjoyment that I get before and after I walk through the curtain. The worst thing about it, honestly, I gotta say is like I was saying before, I got involved in this business at 28 years old, and like I was saying before, that's kind of a late start to get involved, but I'm 32 now, and I think the worst part is, sometimes I wake up and I feel like I'm, 42. They say that wrestling, they say that it like prematurely ages you. And I got to agree with that one. It's just, there are things that I did in the past, within the, 3.5 to 4 years I've been doing this, that I've done that, are kind of starting to catch up to me now. But, I'm going to do this as long as my body lets me do it. So,
Marcus?
All right, I had to go back and look at our former guest list. You happen to be our 24th guest, and I could not ask this question to anybody else.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's like to go into an emergency room with your elbows all scarred and bleeding all over the floor. Shit, what is the ER like when you walk in there and you say, I need stitched up, and then you tell them what the hell you done to get to that point?
And mind you, that's also like what 2:33 in the morning.
Yeah, you walk
Yeah.
in there. Do they call the police because they think he's in a gang war or something? Or
No, so I'm kind of gonna walk you through the short series of events that led to that. So first of all, Warren, my entrance music to start the match didn't even happen until 2:30 in the morning. So, in most nights I don't mind being, in the main event or whatever, because, I can, I feel like I'm able to do more. But this was one of those nights where I'm like, gosh, I hope I'm not main event. And sure enough, I was. But so I'm bleeding out the wazoo. I've got glass in my back. Pardon my language, but I had glass in my ass. I was bandaged up. The look on their faces when I walked into an ER room at a little after 4 a.m. There's like 3 doctors sitting at the desk there, and they're all typing on their computers. They all look tired as hell. And the moment one of them looks at me, they all just stop. They look up. They all look at each other, kind of like they were saying, okay, this is the kind of night we're going to have. And it's funny because they put me on suicide watch at the ER because they said it was self-inflicted, which, if you want to get technical about it, sure. But I'm in there and, I'm getting stitched up, and, I'm just honestly, with it being as late as it was, I was falling asleep while I was getting stitched. And to top it all off, you guys are going to love this. I got the report back from the ER that night, and I actually have the screenshot of it on my phone. But it says patient comes in at so and so time with cuts on his arms, so and so. Patient is a professional wrestler, and at the end of it, it says patient lost the match.
well, we got it on the record book somewhere.
Yeah.
Not sure what that had to do with my treatment, but
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know you had a lot of glass in your back too, because I was actually one of the guys that was out there holding the flashlight on the phone as they were pouring water on you, trying to get some of the glass and stuff out. It's like 30 degrees outside. That had to be cold as hell.
Yeah, and they were worried about me like passing out from blood loss, and honestly, I didn't even feel dizzy or anything, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It was the adrenaline that really saved my ass that night, because I didn't feel a damn thing. A week later, when I came out and I did the my retirement speech that I did. After that whole thing was over, I went into JKO's office, and now you keep in mind, okay, this is a week later, a whole 7 days later. I had 9 shards of glass pulled out of my back in the office after I was on the microphone. So, yeah.
Okay, Warren.
All right. One thing I've noticed about you is you have a very vibrant face painting. Is there anything particular behind it? Is there any special style? Is it something that you got to start doing right when you get there? Because that's a lot on your. You really go out with it. So
yeah. Honestly, the first couple times I did it, it took me a while to do it, and after I did it for the first time, I realized I didn't have a steady hand. So I would draw the outline, and then I would have someone else paint it. But I did it a couple times at home, and I actually practiced. And now, honestly, it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes just to get it on. And my inspiration from that, well, we're talking about my character wise, my inspiration is probably taken probably like a mixture of like Sting and Raven type deal. So, yeah.
Okay. Your favorite moments of this past weekend at Comic-Con?
Favorite moments? Let's see. Honestly, I think one of my favorite moments is was when Juan Sanchez was facing T.Y. Ice, and
I know what he's talking about.
I think Juan had said some kind of comment or whatever to T.Y. He was like, "Hey, look, this is the only guy named Ice that I actually can trust," or whatever. And I guess Ice gave him a green Uno card and called
Yes,
it
he did.
green
Give him a
card
green
or
card.
something.
Yeah, it was
I
outstanding.
started dying laughing about that. So that was probably one of my favorite moments. And obviously, any match with, the twins and Dex and Rachel, those are always bangers of matches too. So those two things right there probably stuck out to me the most.
Chris?
Well, speaking of Comic-Con, when you go to a convention like that compared to being like at the Dub, what's the biggest difference for you guys as with being like a little bit of a different fan base? Because like at the Dub, everybody, a lot of them fans are there every week. They know what's going on. And at Comic-Con, some of them fans, it's their first time seeing professional wrestling.
Yeah, so they're, and again, I can only speak from my experience, but every crowd is different where you go. You have your regulars at the Dub. Sometimes it can be a little harder to get a reaction at the Dub because they're regulars, they're used to it. Versus, let's say, fans at Comic-Con, some of those people have probably never been to a live event in their life. So, when they see it, it's, it's like a little kid seeing something shiny, they're just in awe about it. And the Comic-Con crowds are, they're a lot of fun to work because they are so easy to work. So.
Yep, I agree with that. Marcus?
All right, well, we'll piggyback off Chris's question. What was it like? Because me and T.S. Wiley was talking, and he had not been in front of a crowd of 900 plus, and nor have I been in a crowd that wasn't big time. What was it like to work Thunderstorm in front of 900 wrestling fans?
I've told a lot of rookies this, and I was told this when I was first starting to train. And I'll ask you guys this question. Do you know what the difference is between a crowd of 30 people and a crowd of 900? Not a damn thing.
There's some promoters out there that need to hear you say that.
Not a damn thing. You go out there, you do what you're supposed to do, even if there's one person in that crowd, all right, that one person spent their money on that ticket. So whether you're heel, babyface, whatever the hell it is, it doesn't make a difference. You go out there and you get a reaction out of them. And if you don't get a reaction out of them, force it, crowd interaction, I think, is probably about 75% of wrestling. So there's not a lot of difference for me. And honestly, for me, working Thunderstorm was no different than working at the Dub on a typical Friday night. So,
Okay, Warren.
Were you able to take anything from your military background, your military training, and carry it over into the wrestling ring? Like, was there anything that you learned or made from there that helped further on now?
I mean, the physical part of it is so different. And I can say this from experience, but the physical aspect of professional wrestling is, well, at least for me, it was a lot is a lot tougher than my time in the military was. You know, we did things that were physical, you know, but wrestling was a whole other ball game. They taught us what they like to call like combatives in the military. So it's like basic hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. So there are some instances where that might come in handy in a match, but honestly, there's not a whole lot from the military that I brought with me to the ring. So,
Okay, I've got two questions go together.
Yeah.
If you could be any big time wrestler, WWE, WCW, NWA, whatever, if you could become that wrestler, who would it be? And if you could be any other independent wrestler other than yourself, who would it be?
did you ask me if I could meet or if I could be them?
Be them.
Be them.
Yeah.
Professionally, I got to go with Sting on that one. Growing up, I idolized Sting, and you know, seeing all the stuff that he went through in his life, and he was still able to do a complete 180 and, you know, make his life better. You know, it's inspiring. On the indie part of it, I'm gonna have to go with Poison Apollo Star on that one. I grew up watching him, and guys, I'm gonna say this, that, you know, and keep in mind, the first time I watched Apollo Star wrestle, he had dreadlocks going down to his shoulders. That man wrestles the same way that he does today that he did 20, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how the hell he does it, but he does it.
Chris?
Okay, let's see. If a young wrestler, or not a young wrestler, say somebody just getting ready to get into the business, ask you for advice, what would be your best advice to somebody that is thinking about getting in the wrestling business?
Everything that you think you know, forget about it. You know, a lot of people, they study wrestling by watching TV, and you know, if you haven't been active in the pro wrestling business and your only experience is what you've seen on TV, then you don't know a damn thing. There were certain little oddball things that I knew about the wrestling business before going into it, but I didn't realize how little that I knew until I actually started training. So the biggest thing is to keep an open mind and to be patient, because learning this it does not happen overnight. You know, I mean, I'm 3.5 to 4 years in, and you know, I still learn something new, you know, every other month. You know, I learn something new, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. You know, keep an open mind and never stop learning.
Marcus, we're down to our last two questions.
All right. A lot of them don't know we're going to back way up to the beginning. You started out as a referee.
Yep.
And you were Ref Daddy. How did you go from Ref Daddy to Jake Penis? I had to put that in there for Leslie, to where you are today.
A lot of the trainees at the Dub, when they start getting a little better at their training, they make them a referee, you know, and I was pretty much the same way. When I was out there, I started refereeing. Somebody had made the comment that it looked like I had a dad bod, which, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of do have a dad bod on me. And my wife heard that, and then she started chanting Ref Daddy. And, you know, a lot of people from the crowd started chiming in, and, you know, I was known as Ref Daddy for as long as I was wearing the stripes. And when I became Jake FENIX /FENIX, the story behind the penis chants. All right, here's this one. I had a shirt made that said Jake FENIX on it. And from a distance, and you guys can thank Jackson Morgan for this, because he's the one that pointed it out. Technically, I'm blaming him for the penis chants because he started it. I had a shirt that said Jake FENIX on it, and from a distance, he couldn't read it fully. He said, why does that say penis on it? And I got closer, and he goes, oh, it says FENIX. And then it took one person to start it in the crowd, and it became a thing, and it's still a thing.
I'm going to go off that real quick. I want to tell a story on your wife. When she started chatting, Chris and I was there. Tony, I think, was up north of Chicago. But when she started chanting Jake Penis at the YMCA, I thought, oh, God, we're going to get kicked out of here. When it was in Greenfield. Boys and girls. You realize where you're at, right, Leslie? You can't be saying that, but we're over there dying, me and Chris. And
listen, I got to put a filter on myself sometimes because I have a sense of humor that none of you guys know about, but my wife is worse. When we're competing in a school or boys and girls club, things of that nature, I'm always like, watch your mouth, babe. And sometimes she'll do it, just to get under my skin a little bit. But there's not much I can do if she does it and then the whole crowd does it, and I'm like, okay. So
I'm glad I'm not like that. I don't ever say anything.
Yeah, not at all.
True until Chris drops the weekend shows, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, we may get a few letters. Okay, where we're at? I've lost where we're at. I think Warren, didn't we?
All right, just to sort of maybe keep going with this. Do you have a particular moment that you remember where an interaction with a fan that just sticks out in your head that was either good or bad that you just will always talk about?
So this one was very recent. As you guys know, I stole Timmy Jackson's cat. A week later, we went out there, and there were some fans with some signs. And, one of them said, FENIX, the feline felon, this and that and all that. And, everything was fine. But then at the end of the show, we got handed some pamphlets with a QR code on them. And we scanned that QR code, and it popped up a website for a school on how to be a cat.
I've heard of that before.
I have no idea what it was for, why we were handed those pamphlets, but we were just like, what did we just get ourselves into here? We're only a week into this, and, this is happening. It's just like, we may be onto something here. So that was probably one of the most memorable. The other one I got to say is I actually had I think it was in Lebanon in the middle of last year. I think we were at the fairgrounds. I had a father of a little girl who I scared during my entrance. He actually threatened to kill me in the parking lot. And, I didn't think nothing of it. I talked trash to him, and he stormed out of the bleachers and walked out to his car. It kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if he was coming back with something, or I was like, oh boy. So.
If you owned your own wrestling company, who would be the first 3 people you would hire? You can do 3 on the big time, and you can do 3 on the independents.
Well, I'm going to stick with the independence part here. First one's got to be Jackson Morgan, just because of his loyalty. The other one, the other 2, I got to say, I'm going to go with Jordan James and Kenneth James on that one. The experience level between the both of them combined is just, outrageous. So.
That's 3 good ones.
Yep, Chris.
Who's been your maybe a couple of your favorite opponents, or a couple of your favorite matches you've had?
Well, we know that Jackson Morgan's one of them. I had a match with Blake Money Wright a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed that one. And my other one, so let's see, there's Jackson Morgan, Blake Wright, and the probably the third favorite match I had was a triple threat between me, Hadari, and Zay Gates at Lebanon at the fairgrounds last year. That was a really good triple threat match. So
Yeah, I remember that match.
Okay, guys, we're on our last round of questions. Last one, Marcus.
Okay, well, you've already given us a couple. My last question is always the same, and you do not have to censor it. Give us a funny story if you have any more, because you've already given us some.
okay.
No, he's not.
All right, I'm not holding back. So when you are performing at schools or, Boys and Girls Club, basically anything that's associated with kids, they always tell you, keep it dialed down a little bit. We're not at the dub, Well, it's hard to do that when a fan does it and you can't say anything back. I was making my entrance one time, and I had this kid. He was like no older than my son. He was probably like 7 or 8, and he looked at me and he goes, "Your mom should have swallowed." And after being told to dial it down, I can't say a damn thing about it. So I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna have to let him have that one.
Oh,
You know what
Lord.
these kids say these days? Damn.
Yeah.
I think that has been
Might have
said
said
to that
that.
young boy. I would say that was said to that young boy at some point, probably by his dad.
That'd be
Probably.
that'd be hard not to say nothing back too.
I'd have been stunned. I don't think I could say anything back.
Honestly, guys, I was trying my damnedest just to keep a straight face during the
Yeah,
whole thing.
not laugh or
Every now and again, some of these young fans will say something off the wall that'll just catch you off guard, and you're like, "Yep, I don't have a comeback for that one." So,
Okay, Warren.
All right. Would you rather have a 9-month run with an Intercontinental Championship or a 2-month run with a Heavyweight Championship?
I would say I'd rather have a 9-month run with the Intercontinental Championship. I believe it would be most memorable. A 2-month run with the World Heavyweight title, it'd be remembered for a little bit, but, people would forget about it pretty quick, a prime example of that would be Jeff Hardy. Do you remember him more of being a tag team champion or a world champion?
Good point.
He was world champion twice, but he was only champion for about a month at a time. But if you look at his tag team record, that's the most memorable. So if we're picking championships on that, you got to go with the one that's the most memorable.
Funniest person you have been around in a wrestling locker room?
I'm going to say someone that I haven't worked yet, but I've really been dying to work. I got to say Jeremy Hadley. I have not worked that guy yet, but I feel like if I ever worked him, I'd have to try to keep a straight face during the whole thing. But I think I would love to work Jeremy Hadley. He's a funny guy.
That's for sure.
Yes. He's very entertaining, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, for my last question, it's not really a question. I just give you an opportunity to promote yourself, let people know where they can find you, if you have any merch, social media, any of that stuff.
Yeah. So I have a FENIX Facebook page. It's literally just FENIX, FENIX. I'm promoting like T-shirts and stuff on there that you can buy online right now. And there is actually an email in there if you would be interested in like booking me or anything like that. Get in contact with me and let's do some business.
Yeah, most definitely. Check that out. He's book him. He's a very good talent out there. So definitely look him up if you need a wrestler or somebody you haven't had before. Fresh talent. Definitely look up FENIX. Hey, we appreciate you coming on, man. You did an incredible job, and we'd definitely like to have you on again at some point.
Yeah,
You did a
absolutely.
fantastic
Thanks,
job.
guys.
I really appreciate you coming on.
All right. Yeah. All right. No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Okay,
guys, we'll try to get to our one topic that we've been trying to get to, the stuff. I don't know if you did anything for the 2024. Did you remember that? No, you didn't.
For what?
I'm gonna say this again for the 2024
Oh,
our
no.
favorite moments of
No.
2024 and also GWR.
Okay.
So we'll try to get that in next week. We've been really busy.
Yeah, but we got Miss Gabrielle Rosewood next week, so everybody knows Gabby Abbey will be here next week. So,
hell may break loose. So who knows? Get Gabby on there, and we'll probably be hearing from Reggie. So who the hell knows? Maybe we should do a one-on-one, Reggie and.
I see it coming.
Real quick, Warren, I seen something you sent out about the John Cena thing. So
we don't have enough time in the night for me to go over how I feel about that.
Okay, well maybe we can get that next week.
That I will ruffle feathers, but once again, it's my opinion. But I know everyone else has been all about it. But I thought that was a trash promo. Cena,
I thought it was.
Heard it. Cena, we've seen it numerous times. What's going to happen is mid-match at Mania against Cody Rhodes, he's going to find the old Cena again. He's going to be a good guy again. The Rock's going to do something. He's going to be like, no, and he's going to.
I won't like that. I know he's going to turn back, but that's way too soon.
I would have rather. I mean, I have no problem with Cena being heel because you look at the roster, they don't have a main event heel to go up against Cody. They just don't. I don't have a problem with that. I would rather have seen him maybe do something like, well, the reason I'm doing this with Rock is we're Hollywood big stars. We're respectable individuals. You need to be more respectable. Not this, the fans. Come on, man. But we can go in depth another time.
All right, guys. Well, I thought it was a really good show.
Now I do have to do my co-GM duties here really quick. Okay. Sunday, 23rd, Warrior Pro Wrestling. I do have the card.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm telling you what, I mean, I didn't have my hands in this fully yet, so I got to give credit where credit is due. Jesse's putting some stuff together. Buck's putting some stuff together. Way to go, guys. But we got Zach Nova versus Jeremy Hadley. So if Jeremy shuts his mouth long enough, we're going to have a fast-paced match. We've got, for the Warrior Pride Championship, T.Y. Ice is going up against Brody. We got David Knight versus Buck Sexton after what you saw happen after the last show with Knight attacking him. Buck's going to be out for blood, so that's going to be a little bit passion. Scorpion's going to be taking on Cecil. And then also we're going to have Jared Kripke versus Elijah Eros. I don't know if that's for the title or not, but just based on that alone, it's a pretty primo card for the Sunday. So you guys can be excited. Everyone out there can be excited. Everyone's going to come to Warrior Pro. It's going to be excited. I'm going to be there. You're muted.
Open at 2, bell time at 3.
I muted it because he was squealing.
Yeah, my dog was squealing.
So say that again, Tony, because you always got the very end.
Yeah.
Okay. Doors open at 2, bell time at 3 on Sunday. Warrior Pro. Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I get to make my debut as the co-GM with Jesse and his minions, and I look forward once again to working with them. And like I said before, I promise Jesse I'll be on my best behavior.
Okay.
And you can see where the 7-Eleven title goes. I think Jay Westo has it, but shoot, there could have had 300 champions by then.
We don't know. That's true.
Yeah. Well, if you do happen to show up, Billy Buzz, you make sure you get over to the GWR table.
That'd be a big shock if he shows up.
Right? We better get a picture with him and put that one up there.
There will be a picture of Billy Buzz shows
that could
up.
be part of the opening.
Yeah.
He's our super fan. Heck.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys have any other thoughts or anything for tonight?
No, I think we're ready to
go. Thank you to FENIX again for coming on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Great job.
Saw a couple other people said it was a great interview. I enjoyed it. Also, thanks to DAMIEN DEVILLE for coming on and talking about their big show they have coming on this week. weekend.
Hey, guys, go to Sharpsville Saturday.
And then we'll be keep our lookout. There'll be a lot of Comic-Con shows be coming on or getting up on our channel here real soon. Keep a lookout for that.
Can I do a few plugs? And I think Warren's going to say it too. Well, Crawfordsville, AGW is running in Crawfordsville. Functified's running in Warsaw. So there's shows out there. There's all kinds of shows out there this weekend. So you don't have to come where we're at. Go somewhere. I guarantee it'll change you. If you don't like that, try another one.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys will be off suspension.
Speaking of that, I was going to say, speaking of that, co-GM, are we off suspension or are we going to be allowed to be there on Sunday?
Yeah, you're off suspension. You are going to be there.
Don't make me have to put a foot up Winchester's ass. We get there, they try to tell us we got to leave.
Hey, no, I'm going to make sure. And if those minions want to get involved, well, they can be parking cars then.
And selling hot dogs. Give Judy a rest.
Yeah. That sounds good. We'll see everybody next Monday.
All right. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. And we'll see you guys next Monday.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.